Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever time you are watching this podcast. It's a 90 plus podcast here. Myself, Paul, with my co host Liam. We've been here for 3 nights. Obviously, we've been into the town, we've been into the fan zone the last couple of nights. Liam, just in the build up, what's your atmosphere of the World Cup so far?
Yeah, Boston's been pretty bouncing so far. Obviously, it's been majority Scotland. Morocco fans are starting to obviously pile into Boston the last couple of days because we're playing them on Friday. Obviously, it's Norway, Iraq today as we're obviously recording this. And so it's just a good atmosphere around, the kind of World Cup, and the Americans have actually taken quite well to it, which I'm quite surprised about.
Well, we've all seen the videos online, I think, from back home, and obviously, well, we've been here in Boston. It seems like we've taken over the city or the state, really, and as a whole. It's just been absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah, yeah.
But with regards to just looking on it, let's obviously touch on it. Obviously, the Scotland performance the other night, we know it wasn't a great performance, but at the end of the day, it's 5 wins, 5 wins in the World Cup history for us. It was a must-win game. We all knew that, and it wasn't the greatest performance as we know. But at the end of the day, we set out to win that game. We were wanting more goals, absolutely. What was your thoughts on Scotland's performance the other night?
A bit lackluster. I think we were obviously looking for a really top-notch performance after the last 3 games, winning, like scoring obviously 4 goals and such. And I think a lot of people were kind of disappointed about obviously only just winning 1-0. But I think the main thing is what has been overlooked is obviously Scotland winning. Like I feel like that's something that we don't obviously see. I've never seen us win a major tournament before,
No, you
and
have. No,
well
you have.
now I have, to be
Yep,
honest, but
yep.
before.
But beforehand, yep.
Uh, and I don't think people are appreciating it as much as it should be. Yeah, it's only 1-0, and it was obviously a scrappy goal and it was a scrappy game, but a win's a win at the end of the day, and it's 3 points, so it matters at the end of the day as well.
100%, and I tend to agree with you there. It's all about the win. I think what the kind of backlash that we're obviously getting from some supporters is it's not enough, maybe potential goal difference. So I think there's about an 80% chance with 3 points, but with a minus, if we were to get beat 1-0 in the next couple of games, and a -1 or -2, we get us an 80% chance. So I mean, the goal difference is going to be crucial. That's why we'll obviously touch on Morocco and Brazil in a few moments. But I reckon that we still need another point. What do you think?
Yeah, I think another point I would say is probably needed. Obviously, as you said about the goal difference as well. It's obviously minimum amount of damage going in against Morocco, because I think majority of us are expecting us to get beat. Obviously, to be optimistic, you're probably looking to try and get a point off Morocco. Same with kind of Brazil. Obviously, they're there for the taking. If Morocco can obviously take a point off Brazil, there's no. I don't see how Scotland can't go and take on Brazil and take a point off of them as
I do.
well.
Yeah, and I must admit, reflecting on the game against Haiti first off as well, is that I think if you're one of their fans, you would be kind of, that second half. It wasn't a really open game. There wasn't a lot of chances for both teams, but I think in the second half it was kind of back to the Wolves' job for Scotland. They did defending really well. Second half never really created much, but I mean their header past the post, you're thinking it's a goal.
Yeah, well, obviously the angle of the camera,
Yep.
you just see it glide past, and you're like just waiting for it to obviously kind of hit the back of the net. And obviously when you don't hit the back of the net, you're like, oh, that's a sigh of relief. Like that's a big chance I've missed. And obviously talking to a couple other fans and stuff, if they actually have like a common big number nine, they're probably putting that away like, every day of the week.
Yep, and that's the thing is if that the chances come against Morocco and Brazil, the better teams, they'll definitely take it.
Hmm.
But I'm fearful of the next game. I think I've said that very vocally in the last couple of days being here with the Scotland fans. I think Morocco. I've said in the first episode, I think Morocco I fear more than Brazil. I just feel like watching Morocco in that first 30 minutes against Brazil, especially, they could have been 2-3-0 already. But Vinicius Junior obviously scored an absolute belt of a goal. But I think we can take a point off of Brazil. I really do. But reflect on, obviously, we'll focus on Morocco game first off. Do you see much changes to the team for the next game?
I think you'll obviously it's not good to kind of change systems like straight away, because obviously it disrupts the kind of flow of the team and such. But I think Clark will be pretty disappointed from what he saw against Haiti. So I do think he might even resort to going back up one up top and then try and overflow the midfield against Morocco, because I think they're just
So like
gonna
a 4-5-1 potentially.
yeah,
Oh,
four five one, and then just obviously kind of control that or dictate that midfield, because I think that's where the key battle will be against kind of Morocco
yeah.
coming up.
And who do you think will drop out? Do you think he'll start with Gunn again in goals and kind of settle back four, or do you think where do you think it'll actually change? Do you think who
Uh,
do you think will come out of the team?
so I think Hickey will come out the team. I don't see the midfield. I think it'd be a midfield three of Doak, or midfield five, sorry, of Doak, McTominay, Ferguson, McGinn, and I think you're either looking with Doak and Curtis Finlay, and then one up top of like Dykes as well. So
Yep. So you think that's the one up front, then Dykes
yeah.
over at Shanklin and Adams. One thing I will say is I thought Shanklin's performance was very very poor.
Mm-hmm.
I was excited to get to finally for him to get a chance. Obviously he started the last pre World Cup game, the friendly, but I just feel he get bullied off the ball very easily.
Mm-hmm.
The first half was obviously better than the second half, but one thing I will credit is speaking to fans who were in that stadium, Fleur of Scotland, and they said it was actually the loudest in
In the
World
World
Cup
Cup.
history,
Mm-hmm.
and that's credit to us as fans. We know how to create a great atmosphere. Fenway Park was unbelievable. 10,000 Scots taking a baseball game in. I mean, they probably had no clue what the hell was going on, because I don't know about baseball. I don't know about
No, I've
Alien,
got nothing.
but the just general atmosphere of the fans will pull us through as much as they can, without being on the pitch, of course. But the fans were absolutely incredible in Boston Stadium. It was just incredible, some of the videos and watching it from the fan zone and stuff. That was just unbelievable. But just talking about the Morocco coming up, what do we think? I personally, I think it's. I think we're going to have to accept the defeat in this one. I think I really was really impressed. What do you think? I think it'll be. I think it'll be 2-0 Morocco, unfortunately.
I think it's Morocco's game to kind of lose. It's obviously it's hard to say that you want to back Scotland all the way and stuff, but I just think there's too much quality within that kind of Morocco team. Especially with the kind of the heat climate. We played quite late on, obviously against Haiti. It was a bit
It's a wee bit earlier this one.
It was 9 o'clock. Obviously, it's a bit earlier now at 6 p.m. So it's still going to be kind of sunlight in.
Well, we've experienced the fan zone at 6 o'clock and we're absolutely sweating.
Yeah, it's very hot. It's been about like 28 to like 30 degrees. So it's going to be quite obviously hot conditions on the pitch, and obviously you're sweating as well when you're on the pitch. So
absolutely. So what I'm saying 2-0 Morocco. What do you think?
probably about 3-1 Morocco, I'd say.
You think?
Yeah.
Okay. Obviously, we'll reflect on the Brazil later on after the game, so I'm not going to. We'll get the predictions and what we think after the Morocco game. So we will reflect that later on. Just also as well, just to really touch on a couple of things as well. The World Cup side of things, outside the Scotland, who has impressed you most so far in the World Cup to watch?
Well, once again, I predicted Germany for the World Cup, and
I hate to admit.
they won 7-1. Obviously, it was against the what was it
Carousel, yeah.
Carousel, yeah.
Carousel,
Fair play to them, obviously scoring their first ever World Cup goal in their first ever game for the World Cup. The advocate was obviously crying during the national anthems and stuff, so good on them. They had their obviously kind of big moment.
You got the goal,
Yeah,
and that's history.
And that was to equalise as well.
Yep.
So I could only imagine the scenes and jubilant joy and such. But yeah, I'd say that my standout team so far has been obviously kind of Germany. Obviously USA as well.
I was going to say that. Yep, that's mine.
They were
and
really
they were
good.
your overachievers, and I kind of laughed inside when you said that. I'll be honest with you, but I think they've been better than Germany. I don't think Germany's been tested yet, which hardly games will come for them. But yeah, really impressed by USA. I think the Captain America Pulisic was unbelievable in that game. Hopefully this will build, because football, soccer, as they say it. I'll never want to hear the word soccer. I'll tell you that. But football, hopefully in football in America, this will influence generations in America to watch football more. But because I don't know about you, Liam, but some of the questions the Americans have asked me are pretty weird.
Yeah, they still need a bit of educating and a
Yeah.
couple more years of the actual good football rules and stuff around here, to be
No,
honest.
absolutely. And just one quick point, Cape Verde, unbelievable. We were in the fan zone yesterday, Liam, and the atmosphere that the Africans created were like, wow.
Yeah, it was like they had a full bit at the front where they're all jumping around. There was also Scots in there jumping and celebrating. Honestly, it's what brings people together, the World Cup, and
Absolutely.
it's moments like that what actually does make the World Cup. Yeah, it's bad for Spain, but at the end
Is
of the
it?
day,
Is it?
they won the Euros. They should be obviously demolishing teams like obviously Cap Verde and stuff. But good on them. The
Yeah,
first ever World Cup game against the European champions,
absolutely.
and they've got themselves a solid 0-0, and they deserve it.
Oh, 100%.
Honestly,
They defended for life, almost nicked it at the end.
yeah.
I think we would have probably gone wild if they scored.
Oh, 100%.
Because as you know, us as Scottish people, we love an underdog story. But no, credit to Cape Verde, absolutely fantastic. So a shout out to them, really, really good. But just quickly before we move on to the domestic side of things, you obviously touched on about the World Cup. Obviously, it brings more. Do you prefer, like, obviously you've experienced like the Euros, you've experienced the World Cup. World Cup's completely different because you've got like out with Europe.
Yeah.
Have you enjoyed this experience up to now more than the Euros?
Uh,
Or is it hard to
it's
judge
it's hard to differ
at the
because
moment?
obviously they've both got their own obviously good points and stuff, and obviously they're both really really good and
Yeah.
such. But you just need to enjoy them when you're here. And obviously, if you do have the experience, obviously go and enjoy both of them.
No, of course, absolutely. So major news, obviously breaking news yesterday, that Danny Rowe has left Rangers. He has went to Salzburg. We can expect to be said it last week before we flew out here. Um, what's your thoughts on that, Liam?
I'm not really surprised, to be honest. We talked about it last week. I could see Danny Rowe leaving. At the first kind of sign of pressure. Obviously, we'll talk about the replacement coming in. Is it a good replacement? Some will say so. Some who have obviously said in the past about that replacement coming in, maybe not. We dodged the bullet and such. So what's the difference this time and such?
I think most Rangers fan bases will be delighted he's gone. To be honest with you, after the collapse of last season, unfortunately. But yeah, I think it was probably the right move now. But as I said in the last one, it's weird how you get back from the ownership and then all of a sudden a few weeks later, he's wanted to move. But I think it's the prospect of going back to near his homeland. I know it's not as his homeland; it's Austria, but he's under Jurgen Klopp, I believe, as well. His kind of
Mm-hmm.
remit. So yeah, good luck to him. I think he needed a summer transfer window. He didn't get it. He's only had January. He's obviously moved on. But I did reflect on who I think would come in, and I did say McInnes, and it seems like it is going to be Derek McInnes. He's obviously here in Boston. The Rangers ownership's here in Boston as well. I think what's holding up, it seems like, just to get that chat, get the compensation sorted with Hearts and stuff. I know Rangers got 2 million compensation from Salzburg for Danny Rowe. So I think that's just holding up. I think it will be confirmed in the next 24 or 40 hours, I think.
Yeah.
On record, I think it's a great appointment. As a Rangers fan, I think he's been there last season. He's obviously tried to challenge Celtic with Aberdeen when Rangers weren't in the top flight. So he has obviously challenged before. The only problem is with McInnes, I think he can. Last season, I felt like the pressure got to him in the end, and I really hope when it is announced, which it seems it will be, that doesn't happen. What do you think of McInnes coming into Rangers? Are you fearful from a Celtic point of view?
No, not really. Not generally. The thing with McInnes is he's not got a proven track record of winning titles and such. You can talk about he's competed at the top and all this, but where's the medals and all the trophies to kind of back that up? He didn't win like when he was obviously competing against Celtic and such. He didn't win any cups or anything with Aberdeen. I think they won the League Cup with Aberdeen in 2014.
Yeah, I think he did. If I recall, I think the game was a game not at Celtic
It
Park.
was against
Was it not
St
St
Johnson.
Johnson? It was.
I
think
don't know
it.
if it was St Johnson or Ross County.
Yeah, I
I
think
can't
it was
remember,
St Johnson. I think you're right. I think.
but you got that, and then he didn't win any other trophies at Aberdeen. He didn't really. He was out, packed at the cups early at Hearts last season. Yeah, he went on to take the title to the final day, but realistically they bottled it. So realistically, he's coming into a Rangers team with already losing mentality. What's
I think
what's got to
he
change?
but he is very much he knows the Scottish game. He knows the Scottish league. Um, I think I think he would have learnt a lot from last season. He is a Rangers fan, Rangers man. I just think like he knows our game very well, and I think it should have. He probably, according to records, he actually never was approached by Rangers, and you know how you guys make fun or he rejected us many years ago, but rumours are there was never official approach. But you never know who's telling who knows and who doesn't. But I generally think it's a great appointment. I think he'll get it right, and might get slagged for this, but I think Rangers will win the league next year. I really do. I just think that he will get this right. He just knows the game in Scotland pretty well, and like I've said before, Europe is a plus. We must win this league this season coming. We must. Um, if we don't, then it's again. I think he will get time. He's got to get the transfer market right. We obviously need leaders, like I've said many times. Shanklin's a leader. It'll be interesting to see how much money the American ownerships give him. But talking about obviously with Derek McInnes moving on potentially, where does that leave Hearts?
They're just in kind of people just picking the bones at the carcass at this point with kind of Hearts. Obviously, I'm not saying people. It's the Rangers at this point taking obviously Shanklin and McInnes and such. You know, I think you said earlier on, like you think Braga will even go to Rangers now as well. You know, like, but if I don't get the point of Rangers just taking all Hearts players from obviously last season and such.
It happened back in the day that Celtic Rangers invaded Hibs and Hearts constantly.
Mhm.
That's the way it's going. But I think Celtic Rangers took a different approach and started looking outside the Scottish game. And from Rangers' point of view, it's not worked. Celtic it's probably worked a lot better. You know, going abroad and maybe
Yeah,
beyond, like you know, went to the Asian market with Ange and stuff. But I think Rangers are starting to rein it back in to try and say, you know what, there's a good talent in that in a league in Scotland. All right, Bragger's not a Scottish player, but he played in Scotland. He's proved it. So I think maybe the approach has changed, and that's why we're maybe looking at the kind of Hearts team, or I would even look at Motherwell. I mean, look at Elijah Just got two
Mhm.
goals, first ever Motherwell player to score at a World Cup. I generally would break the bank to get that boy because he looks a really good
So he's
midfielder,
a good player.
very good
Yeah.
player. But just focus on Hearts. Do you see anyone? I think they've ruled out McGlynn, Presley, obviously the old Hearts, which makes sense.
Mhm.
But with analytics and Tony Bloom, do you think you obviously predict them fourth? You think they'll struggle next year potentially, but is this maybe the time? What's kind of wrong is like when someone does really well out with an old firm, or even in England, when we don't expect when an underdog does well, they kind of get raided. Their team gets raided. Their
Mhm.
manager gets raided. And so, where does do you think the Hearts are going to fall away?
I think they expected obviously they were probably going to get raided a little bit obviously for some of the players and
But they've
stuff
been
like that.
built. They've had
But
two bullets.
they've been absolutely. I think they got raided more than they thought they would have.
Well, to
Obviously,
get rid of your
that's.
top goal scorer, and then now your
I
manager
think Shanklin. I think they knew the thing behind with Shanklin,
with the clause.
the breaking the clause. I
Yeah.
think they knew that was going to happen.
Right.
So I think they would have planned that already coming to the season. But Derek McInnes, I think that's a big hit for them.
100%.
Obviously, joining last season from Kelly, so he's done really well. Obviously, got them to second and such. But like, I feel like they're going to get the right appointment no coming in. But I still buy my
And
thing
have you seen
of.
any rumours? I've not really. I'll be honest. I don't really know who's actually physically linked with the Hearts job. Have you seen anyone at the moment?
No, it's just your kind of normal bookie odds. I think Robbie Keane's in the running for
Really?
the Hearts job. I think he was like 5-1 or something like that.
Do you think he might come there?
No, not a chance. Not a chance,
I
unfortunately.
don't think so either. But obviously, just talking about Elijah, just a shout out to him. Absolute unbelievable. Obviously, Motherwell are searching for a manager as well. We don't really know what's going to happen there as well. So already we're like 3 weeks or 4 weeks into the summer, and we're already looking at different management positions across Scotland. Like Rangers have obviously potentially getting Derek. Hearts are looking for a manager. Motherwell's looking for a manager. It's never dull in Scottish football, is it?
Yeah, I know it's never a dull moment as well. And to add to the fuel to the fire, the fixture list comes out at the end of the week. I'm pretty sure. So
Yeah, that's
that will
true,
add
man.
some more fuel to the fire. Seeing who obviously everyone's got at the start of the season, and if you need to get players in early, so you're playing obviously strong on position. You've got your strong players in for when you're obviously playing the big
So
teams in the league.
yeah, absolutely. And the transfer window opened yesterday officially. Obviously, there's rumours galore. I think Aberdeen have brought in a player that was on loan. Dundee United have signed like a boy from down south, from West Brom, I think it was. So obviously, a few
West
signings
Ham, I
already.
think
West
is,
Ham,
yeah.
sorry, my bad. So West Ham. So some
Well,
signings.
if you want to go move on to West Brom, we can talk about obviously
Yeah,
Barney Stewart.
yeah. So obviously Barney Stewart, that was something we're going to discuss. So Barney Stewart obviously had a great season at Falkirk. You rate him very highly. You
Oh
were
yeah,
talking about him last night in the way home with a couple of boys behind us. Why do you think why do you think he's such a good player, and what do you think of his move to the Championship side?
well, what's so unique about Barney Stewart is that he was obviously playing university football like 2 seasons ago. Falkirk scouted him, picked him up, so he came into the championship, hit the ground running, a couple of goals and such, and obviously it kind of dried up towards the kind of wee bit at the end of the season. Obviously, the start of last season kind of happened. Then he went on loan to obviously Dunfermline, done
Yep,
really
done really
well
well. Yep, I
at
remember that.
Dunfermline. And obviously John McGlynn gave him the chance in the Premiership, and he just took it. Honestly, I've never seen a young Scottish striker take a chance like that.
He's a big boy as well. He's what 5, is he 6 foot or something, or just
I
slightly.
think he's like 6'1". I
Yeah,
think.
yeah.
Aye.
He's got a physicality about him.
And obviously he bagged a hat trick against Hibs, and he's just never looked back since. And obviously he's went on to have a magnificent season for Falkirk.
He did.
I think if he was there the full season at Falkirk from the start to finish in the league, I think he probably might have ended up even top goal scorer. But obviously, good luck to him at West Brom. Hopefully, he does get the chances. I know a lot of players will go down to obviously England, might not even get the chance to obviously express themselves.
Hopefully does.
But hopefully, he does, and then obviously kicks on and ends up in the Premier League or
And
abroad.
plus, maybe it might be a good move for him to potentially get in the Scotland squad, maybe future,
Oh yeah, no,
future
100%,
as well. Because
100%.
there was talk about him potentially, but maybe too soon for him. But maybe a move down there, and as you said, hopefully gets a decent run.
Only bolsters your chances of getting a national team, especially with obviously the likes of Ollie McBurney and Ross Stewart, who are also in the championship.
Yep.
Also getting in the Scotland squad.
No, absolutely, and so obviously that's a blow to Falkirk. So how do you feel that affects them? They were one of the most impressive side, top 6, probably overachieved. Obviously when they got there, they probably were like, you know what, I'm happy with top 6. Really, really good position, because they weren't great in the last 5 games.
The split really.
But John McGlynn, he's always like a really good manager wherever he's went. He's had a good reputation with regards to any club he's went with that I've witnessed. So he's going to scout Scotland, scout whatever. Youngsters, probably as you said, university side of things. So they've probably got a decent scouting system at Falkirk to get someone in to replace him. Because obviously, what did they score? How many goals did they score? About 10, 11 or maybe more?
I think
just slightly.
I think he got around about 13. Let's say, yeah.
Right.
But just obviously Falkirk, the recruitment's been good so far. They've brought in about 4 or 5 players already. I see Nicky Hogarth's brother, Jamie. I think it's Jamie Hogarth, another wee goalkeeper. But the thing with Falkirk is they're going to be able to replace the players they've got rid of. Obviously, they've got Craig Sibbald coming in on a pre-contract. Ex-Falkirk player. He's his boyhood club. Calvin Miller, obviously he's away to Hearts. Barney Stewart, like obviously we said, to West Brom.
Dylan, so 2 goals as well.
Dylan Tate, he's away to Dundee United. So there's a lot of the players that have been there, obviously through the Invincible season, obviously the Championship season, and obviously the Premiership season. They're all kind of getting moved on now.
Yeah.
So it's about the new generation, if they can obviously sustain what the Falkirk have already had for the last couple of seasons.
No, absolutely. So obviously we reflect back to the World Cup. We're building up to the Morocco game as well. And just to kind of touch on, generally, just to go back to, we've got Norway and Iraq today in Boston. We've got the crowd starting to come in. So moving on to Friday night. So obviously today we're going to head into the fan zone, and we're really looking forward to it. We're looking forward to Friday night. We're hoping to interview a few Scotland fans today if we can. Hoping to interview a few Norwegians, Iraqi peoples obviously as well. They must live in the US. I know there's big controversy in regards to people getting into the country. But overall, Liam, a couple of words. Sum up, I can always say at the start, 3 words to sum up the experience of our 3 words.
Exciting. I'd say hot.
Oh, gosh.
And what should I say the last word?
I'm going to put in memories.
Yeah, memories. I was going to say football.
Yeah, football, of course. But the reason why memories is like you're just the memories. It's once in a lifetime, hopefully, because you don't know when Scotland's going to be in the World Cup again.
Mm-hmm.
You create memories with so many people across the globe, in one little place in Boston. You're getting so many fans: the US, the Norwegians, the Cape Verdes, your Spanish. It's just like everyone consented into, Boston. It's been incredible. We've got so many different fan bases. We're all getting on. There's not been any problems at all that I've saw in Boston. It's just been incredible. So you're creating memories, and just people just love the Scottish people. They love Scotland, and hopefully this continues throughout. We're looking forward to Friday night. We got tickets for the fan zone. Cannot wait. We were a bit worried because we didn't know if we were going to get tickets, Liam, but because we never got, unfortunately, the 81, but we did get, obviously, the one from Morocco, and we're really looking forward to it because some of the videos in the fan zone looked amazing, really.
Oh, it was full party atmosphere, obviously. We went to the fan zone in Germany for the Switzerland game.
Yep.
And obviously, we just had an absolute vibe all day. Yep. So, obviously, I just can't wait to experience that, well, obviously, in America.
Absolutely. But guys, I really hope you enjoy it. Like we always do, please continue to like and subscribe and hit the notification button for any new content that does come in. We will put the links on for Facebook, Instagram, TikTok as well. So please continue to follow us. We look forward to Friday night. Hopefully we'll get a bit more content later on. But listen, thank you very much, guys. And Liam, see ya. Come on, Scott.
Come on, Scotland!
We know we ain't no Argentina.